parents' garage to fix that myself. So I ended up bringing it to a local shop. They only charged me $100 to do it. I originally tried to bring it to a performance shop, but they were quoting me anywhere between $200 to $300 or more. But I have a local shop that I do like, and I've always brought my car there whenever I do have issues that I can't resolve myself. So let's go ahead and we'll show you the footage from that, and then I have more information about the exhaust after that. Part 2 of the Greddy exhaust install video. I actually have my car up on the lift here, getting it installed at a local shop because the performance shops are not open on the weekend. Using the longer hanger on this side and the shorter one on the other side, I definitely have clearance from the tow hitch. And it's nice and stiff, so it's not going to move and hit there. We're going to use my friend Mike's TC to get a baseline. I'm going to let the exhaust cool down a little bit, and then we'll install the 51mm Greddy silencer. So here's what it looks like. You can see it's got 3 holes on it, so it's nice and secure, and they will match up with the 3 holes that hold the tip in place. Use an 8mm socket wrench to hold the nut in place. I recommend a style like this where it's a ratcheting one. It'll make it easier, and then a 3mm hex key on the actual bolt. Once you have the tip off, you can slide the silencer inside. You'll see that it's very tight to begin with because the silencer is 51mm or about 2 inches, and the exhaust itself is 2.5. So when you actually install this, you make sure that you tighten down the 3 bolts very tight, because otherwise it might rattle on the inside because of the clearance. Once the silencer is in place, slip the tip on, and then put the bolts in from the outside and then the nuts on the inside, and make sure again you tighten it very well, otherwise this may vibrate. Here it is fully installed. It actually doesn't look too bad on the Greddy because a lot of the silencers I've seen on exhausts come out to the tip, and this one sits at the back of the muffler itself with the tip extending past it. So I think it makes it look much better this way. Alright, so it's starting to get a little dark. I got sidetracked with fixing a minor exhaust leak on my brother's car. So before it gets too dark, let's start measuring the sound on this. Unfortunately, it's very hard to get a good audio recording that's really representational of the exhaust sound. And while it does sound about as good as you're hearing it when there's no silencer installed, when I put that silencer in, it sounds much better on the video than what I'm actually hearing. I've actually taken the silencer out since then. I'm driving around with it removed because it's much better sounding. With the silencer in, it's actually a little bit higher pitched and a little bit louder, and it's got a little bit of a warble to it. Just something to keep in mind as you watch the rest of this video. had the Greddy installed for about a week, and I'm really enjoying it. It sounds great. It's a little bit louder than I'm used to, but the only other time I did a full exhaust system on a car was with a turbo setup, so it's a lot more different with a naturally aspirated. It's going to be a lot louder. Now, I don't feel like I've lost very much low-end torque on here, which is always a risk when you go up the pipe diameter size because of the gas velocity at the lower RPMs. But I do have a flash tune on here from Orange Virus, and they did a blanket tune that also included a full Catback exhaust, so they've already tuned for that low end there. Also, I was getting a dip in power towards the upper RPMs when accelerating, and I got that confirmed when I brought it out to a dyno one day. And I think that's happening because of the factory mid-pipe choking the exhaust, and that's what the shop thought as well. So I don't feel like that dip is there anymore, but I'll have to bring the car out to the dyno again just to see where the power curve actually is at, and I will do a video when that happens. As for the silencer, as you saw from the tests, it does work. It does make it quieter at idle and at 3,000 RPMs, which is generally where the engine's at when you're cruising on the highway. So it's great for long distance trips, but as the tests also showed, it's just as loud, if not louder, at 4,500 RPMs, and it's pretty loud when you accelerate. I mean, I think it actually is, in fact, louder when I accelerate with the silencer in, which was an unexpected surprise. One other thing also I noticed is that I get a lot more crackles out of the exhaust when I accelerate hard and then let go of the gas. Now, I did get that before a little bit with the Desert header, with the agency power S pipe, factory mid pipe, and the Borla exhaust. But when I put the Greddy exhaust on, it actually happened less. And then as soon as I put the silencer in, it actually happens more. And that's with the 51mm silencer, or a 2-inch silencer installed, which is not too bad. Now, that is the more aggressive one of the two that Greddy offers. They also have a 38mm one, but that's just way too small in my opinion, and it's way too restrictive. If you feel that you need to drive around with a 38mm silencer in your Catback exhaust all the time, you might as well just stick with an axle back exhaust instead. And I really do like my Borla exhaust that I took off the car. It was really well built and it sounded great. But if you're going to go with a full Catback system, I definitely recommend the Greddy. Now, there is one other one that I'll recommend. I haven't used it personally, but I know a lot of other people that have used it, and from what I've seen, it looks fantastic, but it is also very expensive. It's the most expensive one for the TC. It's the Arc Grip exhaust. But aside from it being out of my budget right now, it's also not compatible with the tow hitch, which I need for my bike rack. And that's because the Helmholtz resonator sits right where the mount would bolt into the left side of the rear of the car. Now, if you have the money though, and you don't have a tow hitch, I definitely recommend checking it out. I've heard a lot of good things about the Arc Grip exhaust. If you have a Catback exhaust of your own, or you've had some experiences with them, please leave something in the comments below for the other viewers. It would be great to help them out as well. I hope this helps you out though if you are thinking about getting a full Catback exhaust. Please keep in mind that as of this video, Greddy has discontinued this exhaust. They still have stock out there, they're just not making any more of them. So if you see it and you're thinking about getting it, get it now, otherwise it could be gone. Thanks for watching.